Hello, this is Dr. Glasbrenner from George Mason University, and in this video, we will learn how to use the spread function from the tidyr package to convert rows into columns. The purpose of the spread function is to convert rows into columns, which is the reverse of the gather function. The structure of the spread function is as follows. The dataset gets piped into the spread function, and then you give two inputs, key and value. The key input is the name of a column with categorical data. The categories will become the names of new columns after running the spread function. The value input is the name of a column containing values that you want to spread into the new columns you created with the key input. To illustrate how the spread function works in practice, we will consider the contents of Table 2, which is another way to organize the same subset of data from the 2014 World Health Organization Global Tuberculosis Report that we used in the gather example. Here we see that we have four columns: country, year, type, and count. The type and count columns contain the cases and population information for each country for a given year. Storing data in the way shown does not satisfy the tidy data principles, hence we would classify it as untidy. As a reminder, this is what the same data set would look like if the table was organized according to the tidy data principles. Our task is to use the spread function to reshape our data in the table from the previous slide so that it looks like the table shown on this slide. This schematic illustrates how we will use the spread function to reshape Table 2. Note that in this picture, the column names of type and count have been replaced by key and value. What we are doing here is taking the two categories under the key column and using them as names of two new columns. This will create a cases column and a population column. Then, we take the numeric data under the value column and place it underneath either the cases column or the population column. Where it gets placed depends on whether, within the same row of the old table, the category in the key column said cases or population. Note that this operation preserves all relationships in the data. Here is the code that implements the reshaping process we just saw in the schematic. We take Table 2 and pipe it into spread. For the key input, we set it equal to type, which is the column containing the categories cases and population. For the value input, we set it equal to count, which is the column that contains the values associated with the cases and population categories. We execute the commands, and we end up with the following table. This is the same as the tidy version of the table we saw earlier, so we have achieved our goal of making Table 2 tidy.